This thing's so red, even I can see it. The SIG 551 with the 16-inch barrel, first shot.
What do you think?
Soft recoil. Hi, Misha here. And yeah, people have asked all year. It's time to talk about the Swiss 730-year anniversary edition of SIG's SG551P pistol. Pretty standard to the one you just saw being fired, except it's in red instead of gray. But it comes with a bunch of swag, and for those who've been on the Patreon, did kind of an early sneak peek of this gun and looked all through the stuff. And now it's time to do the primetime video. So we'll do that, and you'll kind of get my honest opinion about this gun and other collector guns out there, because this is one of 52 imported into the USA and one of 100 made worldwide. So let's get up close and personal. Let's begin by looking at the firearm itself, the metal finish and the furniture. As I said, it's your basic spec gun. 16.1 inch, I think it's basically 405 millimeter cold hammer forged, but not chrome lined barrel, 1 in 7 twist. Yes, this is a single piece flash hider. That comes up all the time. People ask if they can remove it, and well, I guess with a cutting torch you can remove anything, but yeah, don't do that to a barrel. And out of the box, it has standard front diopter with folding night and standard 4-position rear diopter with removable iris. It also has the standard mounting points for a QD rail on top, and the Swiss crest and the SIG roundel back here. This is a carbine length gas system, so shorter than a 550, longer than a 552, 553, and it's a 2-position. So adverse and standard, it does not have a suppressor setting, but that's okay because there's no real way to attach a suppressor to this that would work. It does have a steel lower, which is good because originally there was talk about this being an alloy lower. On the other hand, it has, out of the package, standard black handguard and pistol grip. There was talk when they were working on this 730-year Swiss anniversary edition of doing not just red furniture, but leather-wrapped red furniture. I thought it sounded like something out of a porn, but they were going for it. But their tests of putting that finish to the furniture, it just didn't work. They tried several different ways, and chemically, structurally, it just wasn't holding up. So, this is what we got instead. But this is only one of the 2 handguards in the box. Here's the other. This is a unique version. It's considered a custom laser cut. It's not hand cut. It's actually pretty unique looking. A little more patterning. Looking on the inside, it has kind of a coarse finish. But you use it with the lower handguard that's already supplied. And like I said, we have the standard pistol grip. One question that I've been asked already several times since these just came out, will red buttstocks be available? I think people are still under the misconception that they're doing the red furniture. They're not. The correct buttstock is your standard black one, like this here. So for the 52 sold in America as pistols, it doesn't have one, but for the rest sold in Switzerland and elsewhere, this would be the stock. Traditional, non-adjustable, black polymer. You can always tell a Swiss stock right here. There'll be markings in the mold that American stocks wouldn't have. Also, Swiss stocks are heavier because while what you see is pretty much all polymer except for the rubber butt plate and the metal button, there's actually a metal frame or skeleton inside. So these are actually magnetic. If you stuck a magnet to it, yeah, that's an easy way to tell a original Swiss from a copy or clone. And since this is over 16 inches barrel and 26 inches overall length, attaching a stock would not make it an NFA Atom, a short-barreled rifle. But of course, this is just the bare bones gun itself. The finish on the metal is a little special too. You've been staring at that one side long enough, we'll flip her over. And yeah, it continues to be red on the other side too. How about that? It does have, of course, a special serial range with a 730 in it. And the ones I've seen were all single digits. The ones I got. Markings here. Yeah, aside from the, frankly, special paint and engraving, that's the pistol for you. The engravings are quite deep. I can feel them tactily. They're there. They're not surface deep, so they're probably not going to wear off anytime soon. And it ships with one of the current smooth-sided 30-round translucent Swiss Rock and Lock mags. Maybe. Come out. The Mishaco channel, where you see me manhandle a $10,000 rare gun to get a mag out. So, the gun itself. And of course, how it feels in the hands. Yeah, very similar to what we've had before. So, back me in front of the camera, decided to put that Commemorative Edition handguard on. It's kind of a different feel than the lower, but I actually think it's the same plastic, but it has kind of a finish on it. Don't know. Mechanically, this is the same as 551. The only difference I've really noted is this extra loop on the gas block. Still has the standard sling loop on this side, so I'm not 100% sure. And of course you can install different sights, but the controls are the same. Ambi, 2-position safety, movable trigger guard. Yes, these triggers are adjustable. Quite a smooth travel. Holds open on an empty mag. Got our bolt release here. And our paddle mag release here. And of course the adjustable gas regulator is up here. 2 positions. No bayonet lug in the ring, but it's nice to have if you want to put on a quad rail. And of course the top has additional markings, the Swiss crest and the SIG roundel there. And the barrel is not internally threaded. It does have a phosphate, i.e. Parkerized finish. And there you have it. So that's the pistol itself and furniture. But the 730 anniversary edition is a package, a kit. So coming in here for a minute on the fold-out table, because it's too big for much of anywhere else, these ship in a Pelican Explorer case And yeah, you know Pelican, it's about as good as it gets. Very thick, very big. And this itself will ship in an outer cardboard carton / box. So with that, let's crack this open, see what comes with this, and see where the value's at here. We open it up to find custom cut foam for the stuff in the bottom, even with the red liner down there. And it even has SIG markings on the top foam. This is everything you get, except the gun will come in a plastic bag, usual, and there is no included shoulder stock. However, as you see here, there is a spot for one if you choose to add that yourself later. There are 2 bags here, a small one and a large one. There's a box up top. We have this here, and we have this metal placard of authenticity. This is glued into the case, so it is not removable. Well, I guess it is if you want to break glue, but don't do that. And we have the sling over here. And yes, the case has wheels, so you can take it to the airport with you. I'm sure nothing bad would happen there. So with that, let's start getting things out and examining it piece by piece. Alright, back to the table and laying everything out. One thing you'll notice, it did not come with a manual. Yeah, SIG these days seems to be very anti-manual. So people who bought a 551 and kind of felt shorted there, yeah, at least the anniversary edition didn't come with one either. So yeah, let's take a close look at some of the stuff and begin with the most obvious items. Here we have pretty well standard curly Q pigtail sling, but they say this is a custom sling here. Edelweiss custom sling. So it has a special pattern marking stitching. There's the word. I knew there was a word I was looking for. Special stitching. Edelweiss sling. Same pattern as usual, but different. Another easily identifiable thing, a challenge coin, something that a lot of commemorative and limited edition guns come with. It has the silhouette of a 5.5, it's a 5.50, maybe a 5.51 on here. And maybe it is 5.51. Either way, it's pretty neat. It's got the gun silhouette on there. And SIG has said several times this is the first time they've ever done a factory challenge coin. They're very proud, or they want that fact known. So yeah, this is the first 5.5X gun to come with a challenge coin from the factory. Speaking of factory, we get quite a bit of promotional swag. Yep, SIG Sauer, AG, yeah, promotional swag. There is a marked pin and wrapper here. There is a different type of pin. They can go on your coat. And there is a patch if you'd rather do that. There's this. And there's this kind of fold out cloth here. And of course, what swag package would not be complete? Bumper sticker and in true swag fashion, crumpled up. I've opened a couple of these packages and they're all crumpled up quite nicely because they all come in this envelope. So, swag. Well, our next thing is something, but it's definitely not swag. I think Crocodile Dundee would even be proud of this one. It's got some weight to it, I'll give it that.
It's sharp too.
Yes. It is not dull. And I wouldn't want to be hit by that or that. The Swiss cross put in it is interesting. Grip is... this is definitely a quality cutting / chopping tool. I'll give it that. Hey, catch. I have to admit, few things say Switzerland more than a mountaineering axe made by a company primarily known for avalanche prevention gear and manufacturing ski lifts and the sort of things. Yeah. This is a custom axe with a serial to match the gun, made by Weissen Defense, which is, the subdivision of the Avalanche Prevention Company, and what we talked about last time with the WD-9. So they're in on this too, making these very heavy axes, and they're matched to the guns, complete with this very medieval Swiss crest. It's a serious piece of kit, but it has little to do with shooting. Our final group of accessories, on the other hand, definitely speak to Switzerland's tradition of marksmanship and competition shooting. We have just about the fanciest iron sights in the world in these containers. Here, in this little thing, if I can pull it out, and then inside this, we have removable irises, adapters. This sight set is marketed under the Brumig and Elmiger name, and the main components here, and it's actually pretty cool and way overly fancy sliding case / box. Now these do not come installed on the gun, obviously. However, JDI, San Imports, has provided links to videos showing proper installation. So that's why they're not on this gun, and I'm not going to, because let's be honest, iron sights would probably help you out a lot. They do not help me out any at all. Yeah. So there were a few mystery pieces in the collection here too. Before we get to those, this other small bag I've opened up before, it just has plates and tools, nothing terribly interesting on camera, although very useful for, again, shooting. Would you like to guess what these things are? Either one. Anyone? Well, this is a fancy pants rear sight protector. Once you install your fancier rear sight, this goes on to cover and protect it, as if that Pelican case might break and damage your sight. Although I guess if it's out of the case, you're using a different case. This is ludicrous. And maybe in a cool way, still ludicrous. But at least it kind of has a use. This thing, I still really don't understand, but I know what it is. This is meant to be a rail cover. If you had a Picatinny rail on top of your receiver, this is meant to slide over it. when you use your iron sights. Why, you might ask? A very good question. The stated purpose of this is to protect against heat coming off the receiver and thus making heat haze, preventing a perfect sight picture. You heard me right. Coming off the receiver. Not the barrel. No. The receiver. I'm pretty sure if this receiver, remember this is a piston gun, if this receiver is hot enough to produce that kind of heat haze, your barrel's drooping and or has half melted off onto the ground. This seems like one of those Gucci boutique accessories made by people who theoretically shoot more than they actually shoot. Whereas around here, even me, the rest of us, we actually like shooting. So with that, we've kind of broke through the kit here. Let me give a few of my own personal thoughts on this, and then we'll wrap things up. I thought I would try the sniper with the 63 grain, even though I really can't get much out of it. Very stable on the bipod, even though it's lightweight, and very smooth shooting. Now it's time of the video for my thoughts. And let's begin with me trying to be objective, setting my personal tastes, abilities, or sometimes lack thereof, aside and just talking to the general public, the market. Is this worth it? Is this a quick cash grab, or is there heart and soul in it? And I actually feel pretty good in saying that SIG Switzerland really did care about these. They tried their best to make the red furniture work. I think leather wrapped furniture was laughable, and that was not an idea that JDI had. That was SIG's idea. Someone at SIG wanted to do that, but it didn't work out. They took a lot of pride in this, though. They tested it. This is, after all, to celebrate the anniversary of their country. And it shows cooperation with other companies like Weizen here, as well as these sights that I know are very high quality, crazy expensive. And of course, if we were in Europe and buying one of these, it would have a shoulder stock, so it's not their fault that American laws are the way they are. And the swag kit, while I kind of joke about it, you know, it is kind of cool. It's something else. I'll give it that. It's there, and it's kind of a promotional deal. And a special sling, that's something. And the challenge coins, that's a classic thing. One mag. I do think they cared. Of course, this is very expensive. Most Swiss guns are. But I think breaking it down, it's not just a cash grab. It's really hard for me to say, though, because anyone who knows me knows this is not my taste. The types of guns that I enjoy owning are rather different, because what I look for in a gun is rather different than this. So, yeah, subjectivity. 5.3 LB brass Gila. Now, because why not, let's fire a few rounds of Steel Wolf. Good there?
Good.
Just throwing in a few shooting clips. One, just to break things up. Two, to kind of show you the guns I like. Now, the STGW07 LB or SB editions, I always wanted those. I pushed for those since I met Dave. And truth is, they cost about the same as this. So it's not necessarily a cost thing. The difference there, this is a commercial gun designed for a commercial shooting market. designed to be limited and special. The SG551P was designed to be as close to a military gun as humanly possible within the strictures of the law. That's what appeals to me. Standard issue service guns. And by extension, the reason for me personally, the history. I love history, you might have noticed. And so guns that were there, or even some automatic versions of them, represent that for me. It's interesting for me to pull the trigger on what soldiers have had, to kind of get an idea of what it was like. Again, I fully acknowledge my own limitations and inabilities. However, something I am perfectly and 100% capable of enjoying. And I do enjoy shooting. A gun like this, yes, you can shoot it. I would imagine out of the 52 owners that buy these in America, 50 will never shoot them. There's always that one guy or two. This is not meant to be a shooter. Because if you wanted a 5.51 shooter, get one of the standard black or gray editions. Mechanically, they're the same. And of course, you can always get fancy sights like these and put them on. You could even get this thing if you want. It kind of reminds me of a piece of bacon. Anyway. So for a shooter, the 5.51 gray or black, which is why that's the one I own. Now, this is for a different market. Subjectively, I'm not that market, but I fully acknowledge that there are plenty of people that are, and that's great. In fact, it really is great that we're not all competing and wanting the exact same guns. And several people have been excited for this gun, and I don't want to take that away. I understand. It is special. It is unique. It is definitely eye-catching. Last year when I had those pink guns, those were exceedingly popular. This year, the Alpine guns, exceedingly popular. People like guns that stand out from the crowd. As much as I like guns that are as close to military as possible, other people are the exact opposite. They don't want a standard mass-produced military gun. They want something personalized and more accurate and all that. And that's more what this is targeting for. Things like the challenge coin and what have you. Just because I bring guns to you on this channel doesn't mean I plan on owning them. I just like cataloging various imports, especially Swiss SIGs, but really any imports. That's interesting to me. But this won't be one that'll go into my own personal collection. Many aren't. In fact, I have to be very choosy which Swiss guns I keep long term, ultimately. But I'm still very happy to have been able to put hands on this. And I hope seeing it up close has been helpful to you all, because I'm sure most people won't buy these either. And here we have a record of what comes in the kit. And speaking of, what do I think about what comes in the kit? And do I think something or some other things should have been here that aren't? First off, I think the fancy sights, perfect. That's exactly what a Swiss anniversary should come with, to celebrate their traditions. And same goes for this axe. This is the kind of commemorative thing that I'm okay with. In fact, I like the Microtech knife that came with the B&T SCW Special Edition. I'm not saying they're all that useful, but they're cool. And at a lesser extent, I like the challenge coin. And I even like the embroidered sling. That stuff appeals to me. This thing I will mock to the end of time. It's hilarious. And this thing I would never use. And the swag, I have no use for swag. I never have. It's just filler, especially that bumper sticker. So I'm going to say I could have done without that. That's just what it is. And what it maybe should have come with, either 2 mags, please. 1 mag's a little sad. Even the STGW07s came with 2. Or maybe a custom mag. I mean, they've done serial match stuff. I think a 20-round traditional serial match, maybe special mag, and maybe a red dye to match the receiver, or even a black dye, kind of a translucent opaque black dye mag, that would have looked cool. So instead of something else, I think a mag to kind of go with the gun would do good. You know, Arsenal did that recently with that SAM 594. They serial matched the mag to it. Nothing big, but you know, something. So I think it could have come with that. But oh well. Maybe also a custom matched and special Picatinny top rail. The modern Swiss SIG branded top rails are pretty cool. I like how they dovetail on. So maybe a red one to go with this would have been better than this piece of bacon. Just saying. Also a manual. I know they don't do manuals now, but the Swiss manuals are really neat. They look like books. And for what you're paying here, and the certificate, the placard, as they call it, in the case is great. But give us a manual too. Just this once. Bonus points if it's got like a red cover, just to keep the whole theme going. On the other hand, I do like that they shipped it in that very custom and very cool Explorer case with the red interior and the SIG logo. It doesn't look like someone just took foam and cut it. It looks very custom and very factory and very appropriate for this type of gun. So those are my thoughts. Things that they might have done better, worse. All in all, I'm actually really glad they didn't do the leather furniture, because I'm not into BDSM. You may be, and that's cool. You do you. I do not judge. But leather, red leather on a gun? Come on. Do you want it to be made fun of? Well, we're obviously not going to shoot this one for you. It's going to shoot the same as the other ones. But I hope this was a close enough look. I did my best to research what everything did. I'd love to know, if you had the money, would you buy one of these? Is the fact that there's only 52 in the country appealing to you? Do you like the red scheme? Or are you more like me and you'd prefer to spend that money? Let's say basically if you had to spend $9,000 on a Swiss gun, would you more the STG W07 or more something like this? I'm kind of curious. With that, let's have final thoughts and wrap up. Well, guys, that's my opinion. This is all it comes with, what I think about it. But that's just me, and my perspective is admittedly different than a lot of people's. But I'd love to know what you think of in the comments below. Really, I would. Both value-wise, collectability-wise, and just the aesthetic. Do you like the markings, the color, the handguard, everything else it comes with? Let's have a discussion. And if you could, please do like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill by now. And if you'd like to get in, see some early preview videos like I had on this one, go over and check out the link to the Patreon page. This is Misha. Catch you very soon, next time.